We'll get going here real quick with a quick statement from the PFL, and then any and all questions. First and foremost, it's great to see everybody. I think a few of you I do know, a few of you I do not, but that will now change. If I can get this to stay up here, Tawny, maybe not. You know what? We'll go without the notes. Don't need them. For actually, we do need them. Um, we want to hit on obviously the Romanov situation tonight. Many of you probably already know that was ruled a no contest. We did want to clarify that because of the World Tournament, the judges then judged the 4 minutes and 26 seconds of the first round, and they ruled that Romanov will go on and fight in the finals of the World Tournament if he is able to do so. We don't have an update yet on his physical well-being. He was transported to the hospital, but if he is able to fight in 2 months, he will be fighting in the heavyweight finals. So other than that, I thought we had a really good positive evening. I thought there were some really good even matchups. I thought once again Fabian Edwards in the main event looked really, really sharp. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup with him and Dalton, because Dalton, just in our post game show, it doesn't matter if it's a split decision or if it's a knockout. This kid has just swag for days, confidence for days, and I think Fabian Edwards, you could argue this is the best he's looked in his entire career right now. So I really thought tonight was good. So we'll open it up for questions and anything you guys want to ask. Yeah.
About the Romanov situation. If he don't recover on time for
Uh huh.
the finals, do you guys have plan B for that situation?
We do. I just can't tell you what that is yet. But that's a great question. I actually we were talking about that, and they're trying to figure out exactly what that would look like. It kind of threw us a curveball, but I think we know what we're gonna do. But I don't want to tell you, and then we got to change it. But yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yep.
Coach, the
Yep.
semifinals now have wrapped up. You know, the first year of this World Tournament. When you look back at the first two rounds, how would you kind of summarize what we've seen this year?
I think if we were to say how successful could it be on June 27th, 2025, we'd have to say it's an absolute home run. But you got to give all the credit to the fighters, and I think I've told you this a couple times, whether it's in an interview or on a show somewhere, that I was very surprised at how aggressive the fighters in every division, all 8 divisions, now we're down to the final 16. They came out to fight, and I think I had it wrong in my head that it would be guys fighting for decisions instead of going for the knockouts. But I think we're getting the message across now. And sitting down with all the fighters this week, they said it to me that I'll use Dalton as an example. He's like, man, you're really leaning into me. You're following me around. You're pushing us. And that's what we've told these fighters that we're going to do. No more of the stuff on social media. If you lean into your brand and you're successful and you fight an exciting style, then this is going to be a great place to be. If you don't, then this is not going to be a great place to be, because you simply won't be here. And that's as honest as we can be. So I think through the first 7 events, I think it's been awesome. I really do.
On the note of the fighters stepping up and really doing stuff, I credit you guys for the production side. I think the storylines and all the drama has been built up very, very well. Have you seen that change in the company where it feels like there are a lot more headlines and drama getting built up between these fighters? The stories are being told.
Well, we need to thank the WWE for firing all their good people, because we got all of them. And that's the thing, when you look at the digital team that we put together, half of them came from the WWE. And I think one thing that's been lost in MMA over the years, or never been done, is the storyline aspect. Why can't you have 3 guys as a faction like the NWO or Evolution or something as a part of MMA? Why can't you do that? You can. We had guys from the same team tonight. We even shot a little skit with Dalton and Josh Rivera and Dakota. So we're going to start incorporating storylines into what we do, because it's just going to make for more excitement. And then you can start to have, like we're doing with the Champion Series around the world, and have several different PFLs. You can do that with the gyms here in the United States or those around the world. Why can't we do that? I always say if it's not been done, we're going to try it. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
I know the company takes a lot of pride in their homegrown talent.
Yeah.
And on the upset side, Biagio Ali Walsh is homegrown talent
Yeah.
in the NFL, but it also allows opportunities for fighters like Ronnie Gibbs to make their name in this company. What were your takeaways from that?
I mean, obviously we're very high on Biagio, but you got to go out there and you got to fight, and you can't overlook somebody. And I'm not saying he did. I thought it was an incredible performance for him. And I think that's the beauty of getting to fight on these World Tournament cards, is the fighters understand. Like Mondo Gutierrez came up to me tonight, and he was like, "Man, I want to fight on one of the cards in August." You know, he was a little bit banged up. A Warrior doesn't bring it up, and you know, you saw him after his fight last week. So those are the type of things I'm excited about. Is you got a fighter that's not wallowing in a loss, and he's saying, "Man, I want to be a part of this." So at the start of this year, I heard people say, "Oh, their season is over," or "Their year is over." And that's just simply not the case. And I corrected all of our people, said it's not over, just the tournament's over, but you can still come back and get another fight or two. So I love the attitudes for all these fighters that even if they lose, because you know my saying, I say sometimes you win when you lose, but you can lose when you win. And I think they're really buying into that. So tonight was awesome. And you talk about, you know, homegrown talent. We got Thad Jean still available, still going. Dalton is going to be a guy that we're really behind. To me, you had a great mix in this tournament of the OGs, like a Liz Carmouche or a Fabian Edwards, or you had a Phil Davis who put on a good fight tonight. And then you had a lot of young guys and young ladies that have come in that not a lot of people knew, and they put on great performances. So I think there's been a nice mix for sure. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, man?
I was just wondering, so heading into the third round of the Sergio Pettis fight, how did you have that scored, and then what did you think of it?
I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit surprised at the scoring in that fight. I am not a fan, and I don't want to. I would never take shots at any of it. I'm not in the matchmaking part of our company. We all try to stay in our lanes a little bit. But historically, I mean, you guys are smart MMA guys, right? When you put two guys that have a history together and they train together, how many times have those been bangers? I wouldn't say very often, right? So I was a little bit worried about that, and that's kind of what we had tonight. And then you have all the love afterwards. I'm telling you right now that I respect both guys, and I respect the judges and all that, but this is a new PFL. And you're going to come out, if you're going to fight, I don't care if it's against a guy that you trained against 3 or 4 years ago. You got to show that you want to be here, and you got to come out and you got to fight for 15 minutes if that's what it takes. And I did not think we had that tonight. So it wasn't like I felt one way or the other, but it certainly, to me, did you think that he won the fight tonight? You can be honest.
No, I thought so.
You can be honest. Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't think so. You know, and we're so stuck in the traditional ways of, well, that's not why I'm standing here. We're here to be honest and talk it out, right? And I just don't particularly like guys that, because to be honest with you, we interviewed Pettis after his fight tonight, and we asked him, and we're like, what was that like? You know what he said? It was the worst thing I've ever done. I hated it. Don't do that to me again. Those were his words. Those are his words. So.
When you hear something like that, is there a reluctance to kind of throw him out there in that card like this, or is it just kind of?
I don't know if there's a reluctance, and we've got a lot of confidence in our matchmakers and our fighter ops guys. I think sometimes when you throw a big name out there, like the Pettis is a big name in this area of the country, and I think that's one of the reasons that we had him fight in a showcase fight on ESPN. Did we get out of it what we wanted? No, we didn't. That's just being honest. So I'm sure we'll do it again, though. I'm sure. Yeah.
Following up on that, just because you mentioned a little bit of playing into the storyline aspect
Mhm.
of, into the fight game, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that this was one of those examples where you pinned two former teammates against each other, and can we expect to see this more, in the future?
I don't know if we would do that. What I meant by the putting storylines into the fights is a lot of times when you see fight cards, you just see fights. I want to see stories, because if I know your story and I know your background, I know what it makes you tick and what makes the other guy tick, and that only one of you is going to be able to continue whatever that journey is, there is emotion in that. And you can't get that emotion, in my opinion, if you're putting guys out there that have trained together extensively, because they just will not throw the way they would throw against somebody that they dislike. And this is the fight game. Am I right? This is the prize fight game. So you want to have absolute bangers across the board. You want to have 9 bangers out there. That's what we want. And that's what we tell them. And I'm so excited to be here because of this reason, because I'm tired of everybody doing it the exact same way all the time. If you want to be a fighter that's going to be a star for the PFL, you better come out to stand there and bang every single fight. Period. End of story. And we didn't see that tonight. Point blank. So, but it's definitely going to work what we're going to do. I promise you that. We're not stopping that for sure. Yeah.
My own opinion that MMA wide, not just PFL or UFC or anything,
Mm-hmm.
the heavyweights are usually a step or two behind the rest of the weight classes
Mm-hmm.
in terms of skill and excitement a lot
Yep.
of the time. And both Oleg Popov and Romanov are good fighters, but do you get that same sense that the heavyweight division, sport-wide, is lagging behind a little bit? And what do you think?
Well, you got, if you're talking about companies, one of them hasn't even had any fights certainly for the world heavyweight title for a really, really long time. It kind of, it's very, what the word cyclical is a word that you use in sports a lot of times. And you may go through a phase, because I don't want to insult any weight division, but if you look at our world tournament this year, certainly you would say certain divisions were just a lot more exciting, and the heavyweight division wasn't as exciting. Now, we could have 8 new heavyweights next year that could come out of nowhere, or that we find them, and that's part of the reason that we're doing PFLs all over the world. You can no longer just, especially in the heavyweight division, do you know how hard it is to find really great heavyweights in MMA? It's hard. They don't grow on trees, and I think people think that they do. So yeah, are they a little bit behind? Maybe right now, but who knows what it could be a year from now. Guys could be developing that aren't quite ready yet, and that's why you constantly have to be evaluating talent at these smaller levels so we can get them here, and then we can keep them here. But certainly the heavyweight division for us in this tournament isn't as good as other divisions that have been awesome for us. So there's probably some truth to that, but I would say there's also some not truth to that too, if that makes sense. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, just a quick one from me, because he had mentioned it earlier a couple minutes ago. Speaking of close decisions, and I know you guys are trying to do your best to push Dalton Rosta, but how did you have that fight scored against Aaron Jeffrey instead, and do you think he did enough to win?
I thought it was really, really close. And part of, I think, what we're trying to emphasize this year is so many times in a fight, if somebody gets a takedown or if they're standing on the outside of the clinch against the cage, there's the natural reaction as a fan to say, oh, he won that round because he was the one that was holding him up against the cage. And what we're trying to do is, if you take somebody down, rate the damage instead of just the takedown. And if you get taken down and get right back up, then you really don't judge that takedown, if that makes sense. So I was trying to watch it from that aspect tonight, and I felt like in the clinch that Dalton had some nice uppercuts and he had some short punches there. If they would have told me Aaron Jeffrey won, I would have been okay with it too. I thought it was that close. I mean, when you have a split decision, and even the two guys even admitted it, they didn't know which way it was going to go. I'm a big fan of Dalton, and his next test is really going to see if he is where he believes that he is as the best middleweight in the world, or if he still has a lot of work to do. But tonight was a really, really tough fight, and I think deep down, even though there was a lot of trash talking, they both knew that it was going to be tough, and it was that razor thin. So yeah. Anybody else? Yeah. What's up, man?
Ronnie Gibbs had one of the standout moments of the night.
Yeah.
When PFL comes back to Chicago, can we expect them to be on the card?
God, I hope so. Right? I love Chicago. I made my debut here a long time ago in Chicago. Sean O'Connell made his debut here in Chicago. If you're going to beat a minus 1,100 favorite like he did tonight, that's an overwhelming upset. And he looked the part. And Biagio's got to go back to the drawing board, because certainly he's a very, very high prospect for us. Did we expect him to lose? No, not at all. But that's why they play the game, right? So something like that, wouldn't you think he deserves to be on the card the next time we come to Chicago? Yeah,
We need more homegrown talent.
I agree. So hopefully they've written it down, but I will certainly pass that along, because I agree with you. I agree with you.
And one more for me.
Yeah.
As a big pro wrestling fan, it's music to my ears to hear that you want to take some inspiration from that world. Are there any elements of that pageantry that we can expect to be incorporated into the PFL coming soon?
Well, it all depends if they listen to me. I'm a big fan of entrances. I'm a big fan of music. I'm a big fan of hyping the crowd up. some places are, some places aren't. Sometimes that costs money too, and you got to look at budgets and all of that. But to me, it's about factions, because whether you're talking about America Top Team, Kill Clip, whatever it is, you've got a lot of fighters in each one. So to me, I would like to create factions where one guy is supporting another guy, or one girl supporting another, you know what I mean? Where all of a sudden now you're seeing 3 or 4 guys in the front row that are supporting a teammate. And that to me is kind of how you can build these rivalries. And it doesn't always have to be one-on-one. It can be 3 against 3. And who knows, down the road, you can turn that into having a tournament where you get points. And then you could have, gyms, and you could have, PFL MENA against PFL Europe. The sky's the limit. Why can't we do that? We can. And we're going to do that. I think it'll be fun. Don't you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It would be similar to what the WWE does with Raw versus SmackDown for Survivor Series.
That's what I'm talking about.
Brand against brand, that would be fantastic.
I think it would too. Thanks, man. Thank you. Anybody else? Or we got our main eventer in here if you guys are done with me. Yes? Thank you guys for your support. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tawny.